Action.
All right, what's up, you guys? Here it's Chris and Lloyd.
What's up, guys?
Here with another video coming at you. So this is a good one. I think we're gonna learn a lot from this video. I actually don't know what Chris is gonna tell me, but we got some good stories that we're gonna tell you, and we're gonna learn a lot, I think, from hearing what we have to say.
All about how to bring your game to the next level. It's the theme here. So
Exactly. So I'm gonna tell. I'll start, and I'm gonna tell a story that is not gonna make me look cool, but I think it's a good one to tell. So I was out. So we live in San Francisco. This is before I traveled.
and actually, what is the story going to tell them? What is it going to give them?
It's gonna show them how you have to let some things go about yourself. A lot of times we have an identity that we stick to that's hurting us, and it's one of the toughest things to let go. And but I don't think there's any more surefire moment where this happened to me that it could be any more obvious that I had to change. Okay. So this happened about like a year and a half ago, at least a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And we're out here in the city. You guys, we're at Zeitgeist. You know where Zeitgeist is, right?
Bar in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's a bar. It's kind of like a biker bar, actually. But Mark doesn't like
San Francisco.
Mark doesn't like Zeitgeist. But Zeitgeist is cool. I think it's a pretty dope bar. It's kind of like a biker bar, but like everyone goes there. Like they have these like big picnic benches. And if it's like on a Saturday or something where everyone's getting brunch or it's happy hour, like the place is gonna be packed. This was one of those days. And so I'm out there, I'm with this girl that I'm kind of seeing, but not really. And we're with some friends, and we're talking, we're getting drinks. And I go to, I was with Evil Stifler. So you guys, they don't know who Evil Stifler is. Evil Stifler is the name, that's not his real name. He's kind of part of the RSD community. He's friends with Jeffy. He hangs out with Jeffy sometimes.
And this guy we hung out with, right?
Yeah, we hung out with him. Last week or something, 2 weeks ago. And so this was like, I was in line for the bathroom, and he was kind of sitting at the bar or whatever. I'm in line for the bathroom. This girl behind me comes up behind me, and she's like, "Hey, why don't you let me go in front of you?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna let you go in front of me. It's a line. You waited it. And so we start talking back and forth a little bit. It's apparent that she's actually into me, and I'm like, oh shit, this girl who was pretty hot. She was, I think she was a Mexican girl. She was a white, blonde-haired Mexican girl. Super hot. We're talking, going back and forth, and then she wouldn't drop it. Like, she wouldn't drop the thing about she wanted me. She thought that because she was a pretty girl that she could go in front of me. And I'm like, fuck no, that's not how the world works. You can't just get stuff because you're a pretty girl in life. So I go to the bathroom. I come back out. It's very clear that she's a little annoyed by it. But we talk and we banter a little bit. And she goes to the bathroom, and then we come back out and we start talking at one of the picnic benches outside. And we're going back and forth, and she just wouldn't drop this issue. Like, she wanted me to admit the fact that I was wrong about it. And I'm like, fuck no, this bitch thinks she thinks she's the shit, and she's gonna try and get me to apologize for doing something that I should do. So I'm like, no, I'm not apologizing. Anyway, it got heated, it got back and forth. I'm trying to educate her on line etiquette. She's trying to tell me how I should behave towards a woman. This is going back, this is not going in a good direction, right? So anyway, it just gets so bad that I eventually like, you know what, whatever, and I storm off. Now my buddy, Evil Stifler, the whole time he was watching this go down, just like in the background, kind of creeping. And as soon as I leave, he comes up to her and he was like, "Hey, listen, I would have totally let you cut in line, like blah blah blah, all this stuff." And she's like, "Are you friends with him?" He goes, "Nah, we're friends, but like I don't really like him." Throws me under the bus, and I'm not making this up. This is no exaggeration. This really happened. 5 to 10 minutes later, he fucked her in the bathroom.
No way.
I'm not making this up. That really fucking happened.
Wow.
He fucked her in the bathroom 5-10 minutes later, and then he called me up. He told me after it happened. I think he called me the next day, and I was like,
how did that happen?
Cause she was obviously going out trying to find a guy, and she thought I was cute. She liked me. All I had to do was say, you know what? All right, sweetie, you can go in front of me. That's all I had to do. Just cut my ego out of the picture just for 5 goddamn seconds, and I could have been the one fucking her in the bathroom. She was hot too. I would have totally been down. But instead, I was like, no, line etiquette. You can't do this. Like, these bullshit rules I have in my head. because like I mean I don't know if you have this, but like. Do you ever get kind of paranoid that girls are like using you or like they're trying to get favors from you, like drinks and shit?
I was gonna say, I mean, from what I can hear, it makes sense that you would feel that way about what you call line etiquette, or this idea of basically making it so that just because she's a hot girl, why the fuck?
Yeah, she thought because she was a pretty girl that she could just.
She has carte blanche to just go in front of you.
Yeah, I should be a gentleman.
I think in general that's good to challenge things like that. But in this particular case, it is interesting that this socially conceived thing that she was expecting, had you just let her have that, maybe that would have contributed to you fucking her. Not to say it's right.
No, maybe. For sure it would have happened.
For sure.
I set my friend up. I gave him like the softest ball of all time, but he just knocked it out of the park. I just had to laugh because there is never more of a slap in the face that you have to change than your friend fucking the girl that you would have fucked 5 minutes later in the bathroom at the same bar. Like, I can't think of a more, like, obvious moment where that would happen. And it just goes to show, because, like, I've been... Dude, at that point in time, like, I was real paranoid about, like, buying girls drinks and stuff. Like, I would refuse outright. And a lot of times, if a girl asks you to buy her a drink, there's certain girls out there that are just, they're trying to get free drinks from guys. At that point in time, I knew if a girl was like into me, and I knew she was into me. And if she asked me, hey, why don't you buy me a drink, or, why don't you let me cut in line in the bathroom? It's because she's looking for an avenue where we can start doing stuff together, And she doesn't know what else to say. And I guess she grew up in a background where she was maybe a little bit spoiled, and like people would do that for her. And sure, that's actually I guess in our modern day era, I was right in terms of like social equality, but like who gives a fuck? Like I'm trying to get laid here. I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to promote social justice to the world like a moron.
I think that's just really interesting though, because you could have she was actually giving you an opportunity potentially because she didn't know what else to do there.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
But it's at the same time it's hard to know, because how do you know when you should?
Dude, she was into me. She was like smiling. Okay. Like, I mean, a guy like you know when it shakes into you, and you know when she's trying to use you and stuff. And I just didn't have the confidence, or I was so tied into my identity of I don't pay for girls' drinks. I don't let girls like. Because I hear girls talking about, I got this guy to buy me a drink. I got this guy to let me cut in line and stuff. Like, exactly. My identity was so tied to not being one of those guys because I was so worried about it that I fucked myself.
Okay, so I think there's something really interesting that we can derive from the story, and that is it's about your own level of identity, about where you are in life and with game. So, for example, everybody knows that you shouldn't just let a girl cut in front of you, but there's a huge difference between being at a point where you're not doing that because you are afraid that that's something that could happen to you, because you see yourself
you're afraid you're the chump.
You're afraid that you're the chump. You're afraid that you're down here and she's here, and by you letting her cut in line, you're basically just adding to that and you're perpetuating that. It's very, very different to then actually be able to let her cut in line, even if that's something that's a judgment call you have to make, but coming from this cool, more badass, more secure place where you've established that you're awesome, and you really genuinely feel that way, and then a girl wants to cut in line, she's attracted to you, she's smiling at you, and you're secure enough to say, you know what, okay, I know this might kind of be bullshit, but because I'm secure enough and because she's attracted to me, I'm going to let this happen.
Yeah.
So that's actually a very big thing, and it points to identity. Yeah. Your identity level, the level of confidence and image that you have of your identity at any given point in time. And you're always operating from that. So you want to be operating from a place of this more increasingly secure level of identity.
Yeah, there was two ways to look at it. There was the way, I let this girl cut in front of me like I'm a chump. Or I let this girl cut in front of me. God damn it, I'm such a sexy gentleman.
Exactly.
There's two ways of looking at every situation.
Exactly.
And I took the wrong route on that one. For sure. For sure.
And so it really comes down to, it's not just what you're doing, the actions you're taking, but it's really why you're doing it, who you are in that moment that's doing it. If you're opening a door for a girl, for example, are you just being this weak guy who's just like, oh please, like here, go in front of, like cut in front of me, or are you like this genuine kind of just like this badass kind of boss who's just like, here's a door for like right this way, but you're doing it from a place of like confidence and swag. So this is actually an interesting thing to ruminate, to think about. The actions that you're taking, are you taking those actions from a place of weakness, or are you taking those actions from a place of strength? And the actions can always be the same, but the place that you're coming from in taking those actions is going to be different. And as you always want to be making sure that you're taking actions coming from a place of strength. And if you're doing that, you're going to succeed in whatever social situations you find yourself in.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was coming from a place of weakness. I was afraid that she was gonna use me, and I was afraid of being a chump. And obviously, if that happened right now, you know, there's no way that would even cross my mind.
You have a higher level of self-identity, and so the actions that you take would reflect that higher level of self-identity. And so even if you did let her cut in line, it wouldn't be a thing of weakness. It would be a thing from a position of strength. And that is what would make it so that you were the one fucking in the bathroom. So,
actually, I don't know if I would have fucked her in that bathroom. That bathroom is pretty grimy.
But for sure. But
I definitely would have gotten with her.
Just to wrap this up, basically the idea being, it's not even about the action you take. It's about the place that you're coming from when you're taking that action. So you always want to err on the side of coming from a position of strength and identifying that. So I hope you guys got something out of this video, and we will see you in the next one. This has been Chris Nova and Lloyd. And Lloyd Dixon, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, good luck out there, you guys.
Peace, guys. Stay strong.